Hello again. My name is Tara McGitz. I'm an attorney with the law offices of Drinkwater and Goldstein, and this is one of a continuing series of videos on various topics within the areas of law that we practice and sometimes don't practice in but find interesting. Today's topic is going to be based within an area where this office does practice. As a disclaimer before I begin, this office is licensed to practice within the state of New Jersey. Any information described, therefore, is only relevant to New Jersey. It may be accurate as to another state, but if you are in a different state, please contact a competent attorney who practices in that particular field and describe the situation and speak to them to determine whether or not the information is accurate. It should not be relied upon outside of the state of New Jersey, and depending on the age of the video, should not necessarily be relied upon as anything more than informative within the state of New Jersey. All that being said, legal disclaimer and all, the topic that we're going to be talking today about is bicycle accidents and the law as it relates to bicyclists on the roadway, because that seems to be an increasing area of both activity where people are bicycling more frequently and in much more areas that they did not necessarily bicycle previously. And so we are seeing an increase in bicycle accidents as a result. And there seems to be some misconception at times from the individual clients and from the various participating parties as to who's at fault, as it were, for a bicycle accident when a motor vehicle is involved. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we get into that really quickly, we're going to talk a little bit of statistics just to give an overview as to what I'm talking about. So according to the League of American Bicyclists, since 2008, the share of people commuting by bicycle has increased on average by 46% in each state. So that means that in the last 11 years, we have seen a almost doubling of the well, not quite doubling, but a significant increase in the amount of individuals who are relying upon bicycles rather than motor vehicles or other modes of transportation to take them to and from work. So depending on work schedules, that's going to mean an increase in bicyclists on the roadway at times where it is not necessarily easy to see them, such as in the early morning or in the late or in the evening hours, especially when you get into the cooler weather where the nighttime and darkness comes much more quickly than it does in the spring and summer hours and days. And so every year on average, 1.7 people die in bicycle accidents per 1 million residents in the state. Just think about that. We have a pretty populous state for the size of the state. And we ranked number 23 in the nation for bicycle accident fatalities. So we're not at the top of the list, we're not at the bottom of the list, kind of in the middle, but we're a little bit above average at 23. And in 2012, there were 14 people who died in bicycle accidents in New Jersey, which was 2.4% of the state's traffic fatalities. Now, in terms of commuting, a lot of times we're going to see commuting behavior on bicycles in more urban areas, not necessarily rural or suburban areas, although that's not a firm statistic in terms of percentages. I don't have a statistic for you. It's just a matter of the distance that may need to be traveled living within the city confines or urban confines is going to be sometimes an easier commute on a bicycle than more suburban areas where the road traffic is going to be a little bit different. But most people do not, I think, so if you do know, I apologize in advance for assuming, don't understand that bicyclists on the roadway have the same rights and responsibilities as individuals who are driving cars. Let's stop for a second. Let's think about that. Bicyclists have the same rights, I want to focus on that, and responsibilities as drivers of motor vehicles. So that means they have a right to the road. They have a right to be traveling on the roadway, just as a car has the right to travel on the roadway. So that means that if they are traveling on the roadway, you shouldn't be screaming and cursing at them, and you should actually be actively looking for bicyclists on the roadway. because a lot of times that is how bicycle accidents in where there's a motor vehicle component happen, where the driver of the motor vehicle does not see the bicyclist and impact occurs. Now, it is not 100% of the time that it is the driver's fault in that respect, but frequently it can be the driver's fault in that respect because they have an obligation and a duty to be aware of traffic circumstances, and that includes bicyclists on the roadway. If you are riding on a bicycle, you do still have responsibilities which impact on your rights. So you must still signal before you make a turn. You must still stop at all red lights and stop signs. You must still give pedestrians the right of way in the crosswalk. And if vehicles are turning frequently, right of way issues come into play just as if you were in a motor vehicle. So sometimes you have to pretend you're in a car and say, should I be stopping or can I go still? And sometimes you should be stopping. But sometimes you should still be going and the vehicle should be stopping for you. If you are a bicyclist, just as a motorist, you ride on the right side of the road. In terms of a bicyclist, you should be riding as practicably on the right side of the road as possible. That does not mean that you hug the curb or that you need to be immediately upon the curb, because that frequently makes it very difficult for vehicle drivers to see you. So you want to be in an area on the right where you are visible. You should be riding single file except for certain circumstances. And New Jersey actually has a bicycling manual, which is a great resource if you are interested in getting a lot more information about the specific rights and responsibilities. It has a ton of examples and tips and tricks and suggestions that I think are really helpful if you do intend to be out on the roadway riding a bicycle. If you go onto our website, the link is going to be somewhere within this video, but it is also drinkwatergoldsteinlaw.com. And if you go onto the resource page of our website, the New Jersey Bicycling Manual is available to either pull up within the web page itself or available for download. And if you are a bicyclist or you are considering biking more frequently, I do suggest that you should at least take a look through it. It gives a lot of helpful hints and information that I think a lot of people are not aware of, and that will be helpful in your journey. Most people are aware, although hardly anyone seems to follow it, that if you are under the age of 17, it is the law that you are required to wear a helmet when riding a bicycle or being towed by a bicycle. Helmets are required for a reason, and unfortunately some of the accidents that we see and injuries that we see come about because there's been an accident and the individual on the bicycle involved in the accident is not wearing a helmet. Helmets stop injury because that's what they're designed to do. The absence of a helmet therefore means that the ability to try to stop an injury is gone. So I strongly recommend, whether or not you're required by law or not, to wear a helmet. Now, New Jersey has certain laws on the books relative to the requirement that you must have a bell on your vehicle or other audible device, but not sirens or whistles, which can be heard at least 100 feet away. They must also, if you're going to ride at night, be equipped with lighting devices that can be seen at nighttime. The specifics are within the statute, and I'm not going to get super into that, but the failing to do so can cause you to get a ticket. And a lot of times, surprisingly, I learned this because I, in fact, like to ride my bicycle with my young son, who was wearing a helmet and sitting in his child's bike seat attached to the back of mine, that riding on sidewalks is, one, not recommended within the New Jersey Bicycling Manual, and two, sometimes not allowed by certain municipalities who have outlawed bicycles on the sidewalk by ordinance. So if you are riding in a particular municipality, you may want to look up their ordinances or call the municipality and ask whether or not riding on the sidewalk with a bicycle violates the law. And just to give you kind of an outline or a thumbnail sketch, before we started this video, I did a search on a search engine where I just locally looked for bicycle motor vehicle accidents, and within the last week I was able to determine that there had been at least 5 in different states, 3 of which resulted in death to the bicyclist and 2 of which resulted in significant injury to the bicyclist. Now, in the case of one of the deaths, at least, it appears that the bicyclist was riding against traffic, which is one of the other kind of oddity things that I think is different than how we kind of learn to ride a bike if we're riding in the roadway. You are actually supposed to ride with traffic on a bicycle and not against traffic. I know it seems strange to not be to the idea of it, because riding against traffic gives you the opportunity and ability to see traffic as it is coming towards you, but you actually should be riding with traffic because you have the same rights and responsibilities as the drivers of a motor vehicle. So that means that you should be traveling in the same direction and way that they are traveling. Obeying these laws, combined with using common sense, is important when it comes to safe bicycle riding in New Jersey and frankly in any state. I've had the opportunity and pleasure to ride bikes in various states at various times, and if you use common sense and apply the rules of the road to how you travel, you are doing your part in attempting to minimize the possibility of a bicycle motor vehicle accident. However, some accidents are going to be inevitable. If you are involved in a motor vehicle accident as a bicyclist, you should be aware that if you were injured, New Jersey treats, for insurance purposes, accidents with a bicycle and a motor vehicle accident as if they are an auto accident. That means that you are entitled to PIP benefits, personal injury protection benefits, for medical treatment under your policy of insurance, and that the potential for litigation against the responsible driver exists. So if you are injured or have been injured in a bicycle accident and you are not sure whether or not you have a case and whether or not you should be receiving medical treatment because you weren't sure how you were going to pay for it, please feel free to contact this office. Contact information is located within the video. We are happy to try to answer your questions, go over information with you, and just make sure that you understand what your rights and responsibilities are. Again, this office is located in New Jersey. We are not licensed to practice in any other state, and therefore if it is an out-of-state accident, unfortunately we are not going to be able to assist you in terms of representing you as a client with regards to the case. But if you are located within the state of New Jersey, please contact us. We have a lot of experience in this area. Both Mr. Drinkwater, the managing partner, and myself enjoy bicycling, and we have a lot of information related to that as a result, and we would love to be able to assist you if we can. If you have any topics that you would like to see done on this video, or questions that you'd like to have answered, whether or not as part of a video or just as a general question, I'm always happy to attempt to address them if I am able to do so. So feel free to drop us a line, call us, send us an email, make a comment as to one of the videos, and we will look at it, and you may see it come up as a topic, and if it is a specific fact-specific or legal-specific question to you, then we would be in touch to try and answer that concern or question. Until next time, my name is Tara McGitz. I'm an attorney with the law offices of Drinkwater and Goldstein, and this has been a video on bicycling, the law, and accidents. Have a good day, you guys. Hi, this is Tara McGitz from the law offices of Drinkwater and Goldstein. Please remember, as always, to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our brand new website, helpimhurt.law. That's helpimhurt.law. And the graphic should be somewhere on this video actually identifying what that is, and potentially with a link, so please feel free to come check it out. Let me know what you think. Thanks. See you next time.